Hi, my name is Michelle Valdez. I'm a Discovery Lab student over at the University of Colorado Boulder, and I will be presenting the investigation of antimicrobial properties of methyl glyoxal found in Manuka honey, which I, along with Aubrey Woodard and Alejandra Samarone, worked on this semester. So in the present day, antibiotic resistance is becoming more of a prevalent issue. Since the golden age of antibiotic discovery that occurred during the 1940s to 60s, there's been a significant decrease in the discovery of new classes of antibiotics, which can be seen right here in this timeline. And so meanwhile, antibiotic resistance has become more prevalent as bacteria is quickly evolving to evade or defend against the impact of these current antibiotics that we have. And as the efficacy of antibiotics starts to decline, research and development of new antibiotics is essential in order to keep combating this issue. And so for this project, Salmonella typhimurium was used as the tested bacteria due to its cheap cost and how easy it is to work with due to how easily it can be replicated. We chose MGO as our potential antibiotic since it was previously shown to have antimicrobial properties that effectively eliminated gram-negative bacteria. And so our hypothesis was that if MGO was added to Salmonella typhimurium, the growth of the Salmonella would be affected due to the antimicrobial properties in the MGO. We expected the results of these properties to be similar to those of ampicillin, which is a well-known antibiotic that treats bacterial infections like Salmonella. And so we started off by recreating the results of previous studies to verify the antimicrobial properties and then proceeded to perform a dosing series to find the minimum dose of MGO that was effective. And so for our first test, we used 10 micromolar of MGO with ampicillin as our positive control and water as our negative control. And then we did this in a 96 well plate. For our negative control, we used water since it was the medium of transportation for Salmonella, and we used ampicillin for our positive control since it is a common drug that is effective in killing bacteria. And for our second test, we mixed the Salmonella typhimurium with a dilution series that we created, which started at 0.01 micromolar in concentration, and then continued in intervals of 0.002 micromolar until we reached the 0.001 micromolar mark. And so then after that, we let the wells incubate for 24 hours at 37 degrees Celsius and used a spectrophotometer to measure the absorbance for each well, thus telling us how much of the bacteria survived. And a hit was considered anything below 2 standard deviations of the mean absorbance of the negative control. And so then over here in our results section, you can see that the results look pretty promising. The y-axis stands for the absorbance of ampicillin, while the x-axis stands for the concentration of MGO in micromolar. And so we can see that the 10 micromolar MGO is very similar to ampicillin in terms of effectiveness, especially when you consider that difference with the negative control. It's pretty vast. And then in our second graph, you can see that the effectiveness becomes a trend up until the 0.001 mark in micromolar concentration. And as you can see, that is a very vast difference as well. And so then considering these results, I definitely advocate for continuing the research on this compound. And for any future directions, I would repeat the dilution series just to make sure that it isn't a one-time thing. And we would also consider the testing of the series in a macrophage environment in order to determine whether it would be viable in a living cell as opposed to in vitro. And so just a few quick acknowledgements. We would like to thank the principal investigator and sponsor, Corey Detailer, for providing us with the resources and giving us a space to continue to do this research, and as well as the Howard Hughes Medical Institute for also providing resources. We would also like to thank Dr. Pamela Harvey, Gretchen Hoyer, and our TA Andrew Nong for guiding us throughout this experiment and helping us with any issues we had. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.